Nation. I'm Joey Bonadonna. Welcome to the third episode of the Green Bay Boys and Coaches Show. Again, I'm Joey Bonadonna. That's head coach Corey Roberson. Coach, happy Victory Monday.
There we go. I like the way that sounds.
So, Victory Monday, just got the win against the Massachusetts Pirates last week, week 2. How are you feeling just hours removed from the game?
Feeling pretty good. We we got out of there healthy, which is always good. And we played against a pretty good football team. Massachusetts Pirates, hats off to them for coming in to compete, playing 4 quarters. That game was like a roller coaster. So received a text message from a former Blizzard coach, Coach Fuller, and said I'm going to have more gray hairs than him by the end of the season. He could tell. So, that was a good one right there. But, I'm happy with the way the team played and the resilience that they showed to keep on fighting, the perseverance, and it was good.
So you mentioned it was a roller coaster of a game. 7 lead changes throughout the entire game, ending up with a 40-36 final score. Last-minute touchdown from Damian May to Keyslow Smith, 24 yards out. Kind of a crazy play from the beginning. Just kind of take us through what your thoughts were when that play started.
You really want to know my thoughts?
I think that would make for entertainment.
Nah, I was just like, oh, this is not happening right now. This is not happening. But Damian made a play. He was able to scoop that ball. We know the football is shaped pretty funny, right? It's not round, so it bounced a little different than the basketball, and he had to really, really stay focused on picking that up, and then it becomes scramble drill at that point. 6'5" guys are coming down, running at you full speed, and he was able to break free from that, roll to our left right in front of me, and I didn't see Keyslow open. Keyslow just appeared out of nowhere. It's like somebody dropped him out of the sky or something. But he made a good play, and then, of course, he got in the end zone. So, when the way that play started, it was like, oh, this can't be serious right now. Happy the way it ended.
So, again, possibly, I'd say early play of the year candidate. But just talking about the offense the whole night, kind of a slow start. We talked last week how it was kind of like a quick start, first play, touchdown. Kind of took the offense a little while to get going in this one. But really got going when it mattered the most. 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes. You kind of talked about how you felt on that last play, but those last 2 minutes going down, those last couple of drives, how did you feel?
Those last two drives, we felt good. We was actually moving the ball. Talk about the game. The first half, we had 10 total yards offense in the first half. That's not winning football. You don't win. So I want to say kudos to the special teams unit. Kudos to the defense for keeping us in that ball game, giving us the opportunity to continue to have a fighting chance, right? I think it wasn't that's a great defensive line over there in Massachusetts. So I got to give them props because they played a phenomenal game. But we made the plays in the end to pull it out. So I'm happy with the results.
Yeah, I think most of us are.
A win is a win.
Win is a win. You mentioned the special teams. Trayvon Saunders, defending special teams player of the year, in the IFL, got in the end zone again, 57-yard touchdown to open the second quarter. But that wasn't the only guy on the special teams. Henry Nell had 3 field goals, perfect on PATs, a successful deuce, our first of the IFL season here in 2021, and that onside kick. Obviously there in the end. Henry, what does he bring to this team, especially going from week 1 to week 2 is kind of a rough going there in week 1, but week 2 is really, he showed out.
So, we had a conversation about that a couple of weeks ago about the kickers and stuff like that. I still believe Henry is one of the best. He struggled the first week, right? The kicking game struggled. Mentally, he was prepared to come out and be successful, right? And it showed up on the field. He is a huge asset to us because we talk about field position on a kickoff, when the defense, when the opposing team's offense, where they're starting at, and then you talk about the points that we needed to get, to stay in the game and be successful to come out with a victory. And then the onside kick. I mean, that was big time. I thought that ball might have had about 6-second hang time. Like, it was up there. So, and they were prepared for it. It wasn't like it was a surprise that it was going to happen. Massachusetts was prepared for it, and the guys did a great job. I want to say Mbai came down with that ball. So,
yes, he did.
A little scrap out. Kieslo may have got to it first, and then Mbai came down with it. So at the bottom. So, it was a good play. It was a scrappy play, and the guys really, I mean, they showed their heart.
Absolutely. And we'll switch gears over to the defense now. We have a guest here tonight. Dejon Emery made a sack in the last drive there to seal the game in those last couple of plays. So, Dejon, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You doing, Coach?
What's up, big dog?
Good, man. You look good.
Man, I'm just trying to keep up with you, man.
I'm Dejon Emery. I play D-line here for the Green Bay Blizzard, number 33. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so Dejon, take us through. I believe that was your first sack.
It was.
Your first sack. What was going through your head on that last drive?
I just knew somebody had to make a play. It was the end of the game. Offense, they put us in a position to put it on the defensive shoulders. So I just knew somebody had to make a play. They had 2 timeouts, so they burned one. And by me getting a sack, they had to burn their last timeout with how much time left? 15 seconds, 20 seconds
15,
left. Yeah, so that put us in a great position to win. And I'm just happy to help us get the win, honestly.
The defensive line, another guy on the defensive line, Deldrick Canty, was the sack leader. In 2019, now he's on the roster in 2021. How have you two kind of meshed together, you joining this group?
Oh, Canty been a big help because from transition from the outdoor game to the indoor game, he had to teach me about the angles, about pass rushing techniques and things like that. And he's been actually like a brother to me. You know what I'm saying? So he's been a big help, and I just like having him on the other side from me, man.
Hey, you mentioned the transition between the outdoor and the indoor game. How difficult has that been, or do you enjoy the indoor game better, or what do you feel?
It's definitely a transition. You see, I got a 5-yard penalty for being too wide last night. That ain't helping out. But it's definitely been a transition. I'm getting used to it day by day. I couldn't play the first game, so last night was actually my first game, and I enjoy myself. I'm just going to keep getting adjusted and get better as we go along.
Perfect. Well, thanks for sitting down to talk to us here for a little bit.
I appreciate you for having me.
Welcome to the team, and congrats on the win last night.
Yes, sir. Go Blizz. Appreciate it.
Go Blizz, baby.
So we'll continue talking about the defense here. You mentioned it. Mamadou Mbai led the team in tackles last night with 7 solos. He had a really athletic pass break up there. He kind of leapt and stuck out that left arm, made a nice play, and then, of course, the onside kick recovery. Talk about Mamadou, and we talked about last week the youth in that secondary. This was a big step up for him.
Yeah. So defensive backs, they've been playing pretty well. I mean, we had some mental errors. We still had some last night as well. Wednesday, Sunday night in the game, and they communicating. And I think that's the biggest thing is not messing up that chemistry that they have, that they building on. So that was one of our goals going into it, is try to keep the same guys in place. We end up bringing back an old veteran of ours who helped lay the foundation in 2019, one of our pioneers, in Marquez Goodman. So he was a huge help because, as you know, we was missing Mason Gray for this game. So I think we should be back to full strength, and we'll use Quez as an emergency guy moving forward as he still navigate in his professional life now. Mbai, these guys are starting to adjust pretty well to the game, and it's showing. They're doing things that I'm asking. They're taking the coaching, and then, they're getting comfortable and flying around well.
Absolutely. You mentioned Marquez Goodman. He was a huge part of that 2019 team. Having to step in this week, what was it like having him back in town and his leadership on the sideline and on the field?
No, he just picked up where he left off. We had a situation where we needed a couple extra guys going into the game. We understand the type of world that we're living in, and given our current state with the pandemic. So Quez was a young man who knew the defense, right? And he could come in and help the young guys out. And I think that was a huge help to Triggs. I know Triggs probably had a sigh of relief, like, I got somebody back here with me who knows, you know, and to take the pressure off of him a little bit. And the more and more these guys play together, I think the sky's the limit for this young secondary. These guys are really flying around playing well. Corey Turner, he's right there. You know, we get Mason back this week, and Triggs is still being the general back there. But Quez is Quez, man. You know, I respect him. I'm happy he was able to come in. I mean, I called him Wednesday night, Thursday morning, you know, and he dropped everything that he had to get out here and be with us. So hats off to him.
I know Marquez was a definite fan favorite around here, and having him back just for the 1 week or whatever the plan is from here on out, it was definitely nice having him back on the team. With that, we're going to open it up for questions here from our live audience. Anyone have any questions?
The new rule and what you think of it at the 2 points after the kickoff.
Yeah, so that's the deuce.
Yes,
So
yes.
the deuce is in effect last minute of each half. So at the 1 minute warning that we are able to it's enforced. That rule is enforced then. And let's talk about that. It was a swing at that point, right? Because we went up 6 points, or what was it at halftime? 6 points at halftime. I want to say we either scored or we got a field goal, and then we turned around and kicked the deuce right before halftime, or it was something like that with that, or it was a 2-point conversion or
so
safety.
it was a field goal, then the deuce, then there was the holding in the end zone, that was the safety, and then you got the ball back, another 40-yard field goal for Henry. So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, however many points that was, and that was huge, right? That was huge for us. And Henry, so let's talk about Henry, right? The type of mindset this young man has. We practiced this during our walkthrough, situationals, right? And we had we usually do a 10-second run-off where we got to run out on the field. Our extra point field goal team has to run out on the field and kick a field goal with no time left. So our scenario was we was down 4. We got to kick a field goal and then we got to go for the deuce. And he missed everything Saturday night. He missed everything. It wasn't even close. And usually I try to let the guy, we got to end on a good one, right? But Saturday it was like, we pros. We only get one shot. Sunday, I think I gotta say that. Sunday came and he made everything. So it was good. So he's the ultimate professional, and I know he's happy his wife is in town as well, and and so he had to put on a good show for her.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
I was wondering do you have a pregame ritual? Good luck.
Yeah, so I like to really stay away from everyone. Yeah, so that's about it. It's a lot of other stuff that go involved with that. We can't talk about that. The coaches and whomever else is a part of that group, maybe an owner, the staff and stuff. We got one thing that we do before every game, and we're gonna keep that tradition going, and we started that in 2019. So, so we don't need to talk about what that exactly is. It's sacred to my heart.
Okay.
But yeah, no, pregame. I usually don't like to be bothered. I got a million and one things running through my head. And then sometimes I like to be bothered. I like to get taken away from doing things because now I can relax a little bit. So it just depends on the moment, and it depends on where it's at. So I try to get out of those routines just to be relaxed, but sometimes it don't work that way. So I'm all over the board on that day. So usually the front office, they know they don't bother me with a lot of stuff. They kind of go to the coaches. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'm almost like a hot mess, I guess.
Thank you.
How many combinations of uniforms are you going to have this season?
How many combinations of different
uniforms?
We have 1, 2, maybe three different ones this year. I want to say we got our regular green jerseys with the green pants. We have the white jerseys with the white pants, and then of course we can mismatch that. And then we have the claw jersey. We got the claw jersey. I think that's one of the fan favorites. We got the military. So actually, I got more. What I say, 3? I'm up to 5 already.
5. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Caught you in that one.
Yeah. So I try. We let the guys decide. I try to stay away from that. Trust me. Sometimes I barely dress myself. My wife pick out what I'm wearing sometimes. 'Cause that's not my area of expertise. But the young men, they decide what we wearing, and they actually decided this last game, and I think we're gonna do that every week. Let
They're
the
going
young
to keep
men.
the same helmet then?
Helmets, we're still working on getting another different color, so we haven't got there yet.
Gotcha.
So, but as of right now, we'll have white helmets.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the thing I wanted to ask about was in pertaining to the unfortunate situation that happened on Saturday at the casino, where the Massachusetts team was staying, and there was conversation about whether we were even going to play this game on Sunday or not, and the fact that the blizzard moved, and Kathy's here today, the blizzard moved the kickoff 2 hours to get them. To give them some extra time. Some of the news footage that we saw actually saw the players walking back from the restaurant to their rooms. Mm-hmm. And I thought, was there a conversation that you had with your guys about what was going on at that time, or were we just waiting for them to make the decision to play?
So, we got notification the night before, of course, the night that it happened, that it was an incident, right? One of the players had posted in our group message, and my first response was curfew, and everybody was like, "Oh crap!" Like he's just making us to be
7:30 at night, though.
Yeah, but by the time it came through, I want to say it was maybe about 9:30ish, So I knew nothing about it at that time, and then I got a call from Kathy about 10:30, and I knew that's when I found out more, right? Oh crap! It's some stuff that just hit the fan. And then, making sure our guys were straight and it was okay. So the players didn't really know anything about the dynamics. Our players didn't know anything about the dynamics of that situation, except for if you was a returning player or a veteran. You knew that's where the opposing team stayed at. And then that Monday, that morning, Sunday morning, is when Kathy and I had spoken. She informed me that we was going to have either a 2-hour delay or we won't play at all. I know they flirted with the idea of going later than that or even moving the game to Monday. So hats off to Massachusetts Pirates and that entire organization. Them young men showed bravery throughout that night to be, within inches of it taking place, and the heroic actions that they took during that time. So I want to make sure that everyone understands in the IFL that this is bigger than football, that these young men, they live in the life that they want to live as far as their dream. But we also still ordinary people, and we still, we go through everything every day, just like an average person. So, but I want to make sure that we tip our hat to that organization because they didn't have to play that game, and they went out there and they put up a hell of a game as well.
They did an amazing job.
Absolutely.
I've seen a lot of Blizzard games, and I can't remember where I've been to or seen a game that had 3 safeties in one game.
It was 3. Oh yeah, they had 2 and we had 1.
Yeah.
It should have been the other way around.
But I thought they're
he was straight faced.
Yeah. Well,
I got you.
We personally know the refs who do our games, and they're the best refereeing crew in the IFL, right?
Absolutely. Oh no, they awesome. They top notch. Hats off to them too.
Yeah, and they did a heck of a job. It was hard for me to recall a dominant line play by them on both sides of the game. Usually when their nose guard, I can't remember his name, who had 5 or 6 tipped passes and a couple of blocked kicks and things, they were just amazing. And I hope that when we meet them in the playoffs, that we're ready for them and we'll be able to take them down again.
Well, you said that like we lost.
We don't usually.
I'm messing with you. No, that offensive line, that offensive line and that defensive line is great. You know what? Let's talk about them for a second.
Sure.
That offensive line and defensive line that Massachusetts put together is probably one of the best in the game, and they showed it last night, Sunday night. They showed it that why they the best. So we can't, and that's where the game is won and lost. We was fortunate enough to be put in a position that we was able to win, but I also don't want to discredit my players.
No.
Right? So we had our center. We didn't know that he was going to play until 2 hours before that game.
Oh.
Yeah. So our starting center played. He decided to play 2 hours because he was battling some things. He had some other stuff going on. Our right guard didn't practice all week. So we can't take anything for granted, but I can't discredit our guys as well who didn't practice as well. But that is a good football team over there in Massachusetts. That offensive line and defensive line is one of the best. But I also got to let you know about our players as well.
Well, I appreciate that, Corey.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a great, great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, how many games you been to yet?
Pardon?
How many games? What game was this?
Oh, so this was game 196.
Ooh, that's a lot of football, baby. That's a lot of football.
Yeah, and it's almost embarrassing because what kind of life do I have if I've been to 196?
That means that you are a fan.
I am a fan. I love it. Go Blizzard.
Go Blizzard, baby. Thank you for the question. No, I don't want your question. I'm going to bring Kathy up here for your question.
All right, so we'll move on. We'll start to talk about the Louisville Extreme. The game this week will be on Friday, May 7th at 7:05 at the Resch Center. It'll be Spy Night. So Louisville Extreme, similar to the Bismarck game, a lot of familiar faces. Former Blizzard quarterback Brian Hicks from a couple years ago. Derek Vaca, he was also on the roster in 2019. Also, their head coach, Mark Stout, was an assistant for the Blizzard in the AF2 days. But even though there's familiar faces from the Blizzard past, this is another team from a new league you don't really know much about. Just take me through how you kind of game plan for this week. They have played a game, but you don't really know much about this team.
Right, and they've had a week off, so they've had an actual 2 weeks to prepare for us. So it's one of those games that we're just gonna go out there and do what we do. No excuses, and just play some football and adjust to anything that they throw at us. Based on their film, the first game that they played against Massachusetts, they showed that they play hard. Stout is a well-respected coach in this league. He's been around for years, and he's dominated in the IFL for years. That team that he used to have over in Cedar Rapids made it to multiple conference championships. But we're just gonna stay focused and do what we do and try to make sure we execute and playing at a high level. As far as Louisville, we watch the film that we do have on them, see what they do well, try to eliminate those plays, and see where we can exploit them at, and go from there.
Absolutely. So again, game this week, week 3 action against the Louisville Extreme, 7:05 at the Resch Center this Friday. Again, it'll be Spy Night. That's going to wrap it up for this episode number 3 of the Green Bay Blizzard Coaches Show. Thanks again to TNT for having us here tonight. I'm Joey Bonadonna. That's head coach Corey Roberson. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.